This is my review of the Logitech Pro wheel rim. Exactly what you can see here. This is your interface to the top of the range Logitech Pro direct drive wheel system. And I've been using this for quite a while now, and I'm ready to give you my thoughts, my review, what's good, what they can improve. Now, the first things first, I'm used to driving on a McLaren GT3 Fanatec rim. This is a kind of rectangular shaped rim where you can lock your thumbs in. You don't really have to grip the wheel too tight because you're just interlinked into place. I do have, you can see behind me there, the WRC Fanatec rim, which is circular. I have also the Moser R5 rim, which is circular, but really I'm used to driving on the GT style rim. So how did I find this? Well, this is my favorite system to use for sim racing at the moment. This in combination with Logitech direct drive wheelbase. However, if they were to make a GT3 style rim, because this is hot swappable, it's got a QR system, I would almost certainly swap over. I do still prefer the feeling of being locked in. I do sometimes, after very long sessions, and I stream for sometimes 4, 5, 6 hours, I do sometimes at the end feel a little bit fatigued. I do sometimes get some redness on my palms. I think because I'm gripping the wheel too tight. And that might be because the circumference of the rim is actually quite small. So if I wore some padded gloves, that would probably go away, but just have to bear in mind. When it comes to the absolute build quality of this thing, I'm really, really, really impressed. This feels like top of the range sim racing equipment. The face buttons, just the brushed aluminium here. There's been absolutely no wear and tear on this rim, even though I'm holding it obviously very tightly, as I said. These shifters as well are my new favorite shifters. Absolutely love these shifters, and the quick release is the easiest quick release I've ever used. Couple of small points here. So this is officially licensed for PlayStation. They do an Xbox equivalent version as well. This thing has been absolutely bulletproof on PS5. Way more bulletproof than my Fanatec CSL Elite. This, without fail, when it's on PS5 mode, it will register. Sometimes with the Fanatec CSL Elite, I had to restart it, unplug it, and replug it. That's great to see that the compatibility is absolutely great. On PC as well, it's been absolutely rock solid. The one thing that I had to change at the beginning was I was using this through a USB hub, and that USB hub I think was struggling to deliver the power, which is a bit weird. So I would lose some of the force feedback. Even though this has a massive power supply, I feel like there was something going on with the USB hub, so I'd have the information but no force feedback. So I plugged it directly into my PC, and it hasn't been an issue since. But just to bear that in mind, worth thinking about not using a USB hub. The slightly quirky thing with this wheel is that you have this rotary dial here that is not facing the front like this one. So again, if you think about the Fanatec GT3 McLaren wheel, all of the encoders on the front. This one is just like, I'm still getting used to this one. In somewhere like Gran Turismo 7, where at the beginning of most races, I want to cycle to the traction control, and then I want to increase traction control for start and turn off immediately, and then cycle back to my radar. I'm still getting used to intuitively these being at different angles. I'm not entirely sure what the benefit is of having it at that angle, because it's sort of in the way when you're holding it. You need to kind of go around both sides of the wheel, but these ones do go in. They're very easy to press. For iRacing and ACC, they're actually very nice to use, and they feel more robust than the ones I have on my Fanatec GT3 rim. In terms of the button mapping, that's absolutely fine on PC. You can map all of these buttons, that's great. This little D-pad here is not a funky switch. It doesn't rotate. I would really like if that was a funky switch, because then I could just do so much more in it. So that's something that I think they actually could improve. There's no rev limiter on the wheel. You have a rev limiter on the base. This is no indicator up here. This is just a strip. There's no electronics. So maybe that would be nice. I don't know. But fundamentally, this is my favorite combination to use at the moment. It's better than my Fanatec CSL Elite. I feel like I'm more consistent with the setup. In terms of ultimate pace, I'm not sure whether I have more ultimate pace, but I feel more consistent. I'm definitely having more fun. The ability to control slides easier makes me want to drift it around corners more often, because I know it's savable if I get it wrong. And I really like having the force feedback turned up. I do run my force feedback really high. This is at 11 Newton meter wheel base. I'll often try and run it as close as possible to that. If I were to turn that down, I don't think I would have the issues I spoke about at the beginning with holding the wheel too tight. But definitely worth looking into this. This is a very, 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 very solid wheel. really, really, really solid. There's nothing this wheel does that makes me think, oh, they've cut corners here. It's really solid. You can tell by the quick release. It's really well thought out. It's so much quicker than the quick release I have on my Fanatec stuff behind, and it's better than the Moser one as well. The clutch paddles I've never really used. I haven't even mapped them to anything. I could map them to look left and look right, but I haven't done that. This is my review. What would I give it as a score? Well, first of all, subscribe if you found this helpful. Please, please, please. It's because of people like you giving your support that I'm able to receive this stuff. I should say that Logitech gave me this for free, but they haven't seen this review. They don't know I'm making a review. These are all my own thoughts. But let me know any questions you have about it. But in terms of my score, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 for the wheelbase, just because I feel like the perfect ergonomics for me as someone who mainly drives GT3 cars is a GT3 shaped wheel. However, this is just generally more usable in more conditions for road cars, for rallying, for truck driving, where you want to really use that maximum rotation. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Perhaps if it was slightly better locked in when I was driving it, that would push it up to a 9 or even higher. But these are my thoughts on this wheel. Really enjoying using it at the moment. Hasn't really put a foot wrong. Feels very reliable. Feels very consistent. And going to be using it quite a bit in the future, I think. I'll see you next time.